Let's begin with a fresh page. Like every page, it begins empty. The pages that follow, also empty. The pages before it, they do not exist. I know what you are thinking. I am either mistaken or a liar, for there's always a backstory of how a man came to be in the place that he is in. Perhaps the story of the past is too horrific to describe and would taint your perspective for hearing this new story. Either way, whatever I tell you can be either one of two things, the truth or a lie.
Today I begin my search. What am I looking for? Well, that depends on what I find, does it not? I prefer not to limit myself to a predefined result, and let the journey present to me what it will. My findings will sum up the goal of my journey, and thus I do not yet know my goal. Oh, how I so greatly anticipate this adventure, what excitement the element of surprise can bring.
Can you hear that? Is the sound of my time machine? Or is it? This machine will take me to the place I am going. I have not yet decided in which direction it will take me. However, it can only go forward. Therefore, I do not yet know where I am going. Isn't this exciting? How wonderful is the element of surprise?
I have with me 3 things. Their usual kinds of things. A camera, notebook and pen. In fact, the $2 the train ticket cost me was the only money I brought with me. But to be honest, that's a little more information than you needed to know. Bad things can come from knowing too much. If you take nothing else from this, understand that the only thing that's unusual is the way we have come to meet.
How does one receive information? How does one interpret what information they are receiving? How does one manipulate what they interpret? How did you and I meet?
Did we meet?
We must have met. How else are we speaking now?
Are we speaking?
There is a long road ahead of us. Or perhaps it is very short. I do not yet know, as I am not at the end of the road. How long do you think it will take us to get to the end of the road? Will we get to the end of the road? What defines the end of the road? When we get there, how will we know when we have reached it? What defines the end?
Some stories seem as if they will never end, but sure enough, an end seems to come eventually. What about this story? Our story? Perhaps we will be stuck in an eternal never-ending story, and what happens then? We will probably be doomed to an eternity of torturous black and white images with people talking nonsense. But who is it that holds us prisoner in this eternal mind game? Could it really be that there is a higher power, a vengeful power, that uses our mortal boundaries against us? Could this also be the one who defines the
end? One. Either extremity of something that has length, the end of the pier.
End. 2. The outside, or extreme edge, or physical limit, the boundary, the end of town.
And 3. The point in time when an action, an event, or a phenomenon ceases or is completed. The conclusion, the end of the day.
And 4. The result, an outcome.
And 5. Something toward which one strives, the goal.
And 6. The termination of life or existence, death.
And 7. The ultimate extent, the very limit, the end of one's patience.